Like I mentioned in an earlier video, all programming languages have the same 5 basic fundamentals: creating output, variables, making decisions, loops, and functions. So in this video, we are going to focus on using variables. Secondly, when choosing to integrate a language like PHP into a website, the main motivation is likely that you want to integrate your website with a database. When you're working with a database, the typical flow will be connect to your database, execute a query, you will loop through the query response, take a record, put it into a variable, likely an array, and then output that record into your HTML website. So in this exercise, we're kind of focusing on that last step. Once we get data from the database into a variable, how do we get it from a variable into our actual web page? So in this video, we are going to take an HTML document, we're going to add a couple variables, and then we're going to focus on how do I get the content from those variables into my web page. Here's my starting PHP file. You can see I have 4 variables: a link name, a URL, an image, and a description. And the goal here is to output that content using HTML and referencing those variables. If you want to follow along, this code is available on my GitHub account. And let's start with outputting our link name. So to start, we want to use echo to do our outputting. And if I want to output a variable, we can just say echo link name. I'm using MAMP to test my PHP, so I can just test locally. So I'm going to open up my web page here. And there's my current result. So this text here is coming from my PHP echo statement. Before I move on to the next one, I want to format this using an h2 tag. So when creating output, content in between quotes is considered text, in this case HTML. Content outside of quotes must be some sort of PHP code, in this case a variable. And again, content inside of quotes is text. The dots represent concatenation, so it's joining some text with the PHP variable with some more text. If I refresh that, we now have Code Academy as an H2, and if I inspect the element and open up the body tag, there is my result. So that line of HTML was generated by this line of PHP. And next, let's take our link description and put it in a paragraph. Save and refresh, and there's our paragraph. Now I do find often when programmers are learning PHP and it comes time to do an image, their first response is to write something like that. Now remember, the result here is to generate valid HTML. So from an HTML perspective, first of all, you don't have a closing image tag. Second, the URL of the image does not go in between 2 image tags. So with an image, we open our image tag and the URL of the image goes in the source attribute. And now if I refresh, there's my response. So let's make this image a little smaller. We'll just do a quick width here. And now if I refresh, I can see the whole image. Also, these quotes can often throw you off. Remember, this block here is the text we are starting our echo with. So I'll paste that down here. Then we're adding the contents of the link image variable, which is this. And then we're adding this. So notice when I put those 3 pieces of content together, I get a well-structured image tag. So with our link, remember the goal here is valid HTML. So with a link, we open up an A tag, we have our href attribute, output our link URL, and then we need something in between the open and close A tags. So let's just reuse that URL. Save, and I do want this to be underneath my image, so I'm just going to add in here a break. And if I refresh, there's my result.